All right, we're talking Open 2025. So, all three of us are doing it this year.
Correct.
No excuses.
Dave's idea.
No excuses. Dave's idea. So we're all three doing it, and I think what I like about the Open is right away when I okay, I'm going to do it. I noticed I'm just trying harder stuff. Right away, okay, I'm doing muscle ups and handstand push-ups in class and starting to work on my Olympic weightlifting and training's got fun again. Not that it was not fun, but getting back into some of the higher end movements that, I don't know, I kind of shelf them for, especially during the warmer months. I just want to stay healthy and, I'm running and I keep things a little more basic, weights a little more moderate. And that's good. I think for sustainability, once you're in your 40s, pushing the high end stuff all of the time maybe isn't the wisest thing for me, at least. But if you get away from it too long, you start to lose a little bit of that novelty. Do you guys feel like that a little bit? I don't know. Training gets a little monotonous, a little boring.
Yeah, I think it does get boring after a while. I mean, I was just talking with someone the other day. It's, I think when you were younger or when you were, both of us probably, we're taking CrossFit, the competitive aspect of it, the sport of it more seriously at one point. There's kind of a payoff to the training. I have an event, I'm doing something, this means something.
Yep.
And then you get to the point where you don't do that as much anymore, and you're like, oh, this is just my life.
Yes.
I'm just in the gym kind of, this is just, it's a habit, it's a good habit. But it's just what I'm doing right now, and it's some days are okay, and some days are I really don't want to do this, but it's just kind of what I do now.
Yeah.
So it is nice to kind of interject some of those, more novel movements in there. Or like I was saying the other day, I will kind of during the week, probably once a week, I'll take a look at what some of the L2 stuff that Craig's doing with the guys over there. And if something kind of makes sense or it's kind of fits within what I want to do that week, I'll do that. And it's just even by myself, I don't necessarily need to do it within the class or whatever. I'll just kind of go at my own pace and not have the the pressure to kind of keep up. But I'll kind of be in the middle of something, and I'm like, oh God, I'm just kind of PTSD from 10 years ago. I'm I don't necessarily love being back here. But, there's, like I said, I don't really put the pressure on myself. But doing some heavier Olympic lifts in combination with some muscle ups or gymnastics movements, and it's interesting. It's not usually the way I train on a regular basis now, but I can still do that stuff, and I still want to touch it now and again just to make sure I retain those skills and movements. And it, I'm not going to do no muscle ups for a while and then one day, hey, let's do 100. It's nothing that intense. It's still within the realm of reasonable amount of things to do, or volume. But even like this is from the other day, my thigh, my clean,
banging cleans
and snatched against my thighs. I'm oh man, I'm a mess. I'm all geared up. I got grips on. I got knee sleeves, and all right, here we go.
Yep.
But it's still going good. But yeah, it's fun to kind of get back into the mix and kind of do some of those more higher skill competitive workouts again.
Yeah.
I think it wakes you up a little bit. It wakes me up. I mean, I don't have the skills like you guys. I never did though. Right. But it makes you try harder, and I think otherwise, you're looking at other people our ages, and no one really gives a shit that much. You're like, well, does it really matter? What am I doing this for? If you're pushing yourself this hard all the time, but if you have something to work towards every now and then, it motivates you. It wakes you up. I think you need to challenge yourself like that, probably once a quarter in some way.
Yeah.
And I think that's good. Maybe if you're going through a hard season, whatever, with your family or with your career, you don't. But I think more often than not, people are afraid to push themselves than to do too much. So I think if you're going to err on one side or the other, it's signing up for the thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't always have to be the Open, but that's what's going on right now. So.
having something on the books is good. Once a year. I agree. Like,
I'm saying once a quarter.
Once a quarter is good, but I think sometimes if you're doing something that often all of the time, it can be something small, but you're kind of in this constant getting ready mode, and that's stressful. The older I get, I like, having something on the books once or twice a year is good.
Yeah.
But you're not always getting ready. It's not like, the fight's around the corner all the time.
I just even think like, for example, like signing up for a 5K in the spring.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to take yourself so freaking seriously.
Yes.
You're not going to win the damn thing. Just go do it.
Oh, yeah? No, but yeah, like for people like us, like it is nice to kind of sign up for something you know you're not going to win. There's no pressure. I've done a couple of halves, and I'm like, I'll get a reasonable time, and I'll do a little extra running. But I was like, there's no pressure to win this because I'm not going to win.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get real competitive with yoga. I go through that phase where I'm looking around, looking at everyone else in class, like really mad.
Competitive yoga.
How long did you hold that pose? Did you take it into toe stand? How gracefully did you come out?
She can't even balance on one foot. Yeah, I know.
You don't even know. Just come to the next yoga class.
Well, the thing with the Open this year, I'm thinking they changed things up a little bit. And, I think you have a chance to look at it in a positive or a negative way. And I'm going to go positive in the way that they tighten this funnel up for qualifying. So, hey, if they're not going to do regionals with a pretty decent sized funnel, okay, screw it. Just tighten it up and let's make the Open fun. A big participatory event, which I think that's what it's going to be. And then they have.
So you mean by that lower skill?
Well,
just kind of everyone can do it.
I think they are going to have people qualifying straight into the game. So, however they're going to structure the workout, I'm thinking at some point you're going to see some sort of workout similar to like the last one last year, where you're going to have you just get hung up.
Yeah.
So it's going to be hard until it gets like you get stuck, or like the ones where I remember a few years ago there was like snatches and pull-ups, and the weights just kept going up until
like a ladder.
Yeah, and you get cut off if you don't make a certain time,
or by the movement, like whether it's a muscle up. Or whatever.
I think
there's some kind of separator that's like
we'll have some of that, and I think you do need to do that to have, your people who are training, all year round for this stuff, and not just have a cyclical thing where someone who's, a boot camp person can hang with like someone who's putting in 5 years of Olympic weightlifting work. So, but that being said, get a bunch of people to participate. They have this thing called the community games. So people who like to really compete in CrossFit, like that's their sport right now. We're going to have that. That's June 9th, I believe, to the 15th. And we're going to be doing it the way we did the quarterfinals last year, and just doing it in the level 2 class. So anyone who does the Open qualifies for that. And then you get assigned like a skill level.
Okay. Which
I think is pretty cool. I like that, and it allows you to kind of keep competing, and you can rank into that like skill level. And then the next year, like, I think your goal would be maybe to advance up a skill level or something like that in the Open. So I like how they're ranking things like that. I think that's really cool. We'll probably have, I don't know, anywhere from 6 to a dozen people qualify for that semifinal, which is all in the gym now. Not a huge fan of that, but it is what it is. They are going to start doing more of I think like that sanctional style qualifier, where people can, kind of how what Drew was talking about, people will like go to it and then they have qualifying spots for the games in it. So that's kind of how they're going to do it.
Where is that at?
They're going to have them all over.
Okay. Just different regions.
Yeah, and I'm sure that will grow over time. And the Masters Games is going to be in Columbus this year.
Oh, that's cool. Where at?
I think like, I don't know, maybe at Rogue, or I don't know where they're doing it.
Cool to do it in a park or something.
I don't think it'll be in a park. They'll probably do it in a stadium, I hope that they're going to kind of test it to see if it looks like a good games sort of spot to do the whole CrossFit Games here.
Oh.
Yeah, because Rogue's right here.
Yeah.
They set up all the equipment.
That makes sense.
That's my hope is we could have the games here in Columbus. I think that'd be really cool.
Isn't it in Albany this year?
It's in Albany, New York. Yeah,
I heard that like I think they announced that a few weeks ago, or a month ago, and people were like, Albany.
So, I don't know. This the best joke about the CrossFit Games, but it they started in it's like out in Carson or in LA, and now it's starting to like sound like I'm a UFC fan. Like all the very first old UFCs were in like these like weird kind of like third tier towns like Birmingham, Alabama, places where they're getting around like the laws and
Yeah, it almost someone was like it almost seems like the host cities of these places like with CrossFit, it's like it's going like backwards. It's getting like smaller and more like no offense, but like the markets that they're having these games in, like I don't know, maybe I don't know why they picked it. Maybe they had some good grounds or facilities there to have it, and it made sense. I'm not sure.
Were they in a bad spot financially or something?
I don't know.
They're trying to clean up their finances.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just used to be such a spectacle and like so neat but
so the big thing here at the gym, we're not losing any of that energy. We're going to have, especially if you're new to the gym, you haven't done the Open, sign up for it. Again, there's no pressure on you to be a certain caliber of athlete. Like they have different scaling options, kind of how we do in class, like the fitness, performance,
and for all different age groups too.
Yeah.
And you can just narrow your field where you only look at yourself and your age group.
But my mom has done the Open like 15 years in a row.
This will be her 13th year.
13th year,
she
okay.
does it, yeah.
Yeah. She's done it basically, since she started CrossFit. Way we're going to work it this year, and I'll send out a video specific to that I shot yesterday, but Saturdays, we're running the Open workout. So it'll come out Thursday night, Friday. We'll usually, during the Open, are going to have like a kind of a lighter day, more of a cardio-based day. And then Saturday, we're going to run the Open workout in all the classes. So the classes will have a warm-up. You'll partner up. You'll do the Open workout. One will judge. One will do the workout, and then you'll flip-flop. And then we'll do it similarly at 10 to noon, but it's going to be more of a competition style. So you'll come in. It will then be a self warm-up like you would if you were going to a competition. And that'll generally be in the level 2 area, depending on if we're doing Open workouts over there. They have a better setup for a few different types of workouts. But we'll have a warm-up area. You're going to warm yourself up. I'll give you like an athlete brief. So I'll be kind of emceeing it. I'll go over the movement standards. What you'll do is you'll do the workout, and what we want people to do is stick around and then judge someone. So if you do the workout and you get judged, stick around and judge someone. You don't have to have the judge's course to judge someone, but we do want people who are judging our high-end level 2 athletes who are trying to qualify for semifinals to have a judge's course. So they'll be doing things like filming the workouts, because if they're going into like higher, if they're qualifying for things, they're going to need validation on those workouts. Or if people are like actually maybe going to win a workout. So we've had some people close-ish to like that sort of area of like winning workouts as well. So we want official judges on it. So if you can take that judge's course, that helps us out, especially if you're a competitor. If you're a level 2 competitor, it's a pet peeve of mine. I need someone who has a judge's course to judge me. I don't have one though. And then like asking for that throughout the entire Open. I don't like that. So if you are going to ask someone to have a judge's course, make sure you are taking that as well.
Just helps out.
Yeah, it helps out. That being said, you don't have to have one to judge people generally doing this. We will have times on Friday from 7:30 to 8:30, and then we don't have a level 2 class Friday, so you can walk through the open workout during that level 2 class, or if you need to get it in, you can also.
And that's at noon, right?
That's at noon. So between noon and that 3:30 class, we'll have some time for people to come in and do it. Noon on Sunday, we won't do the skills class. It'll be open heats.
But you still have to find yourself your own judge, right? There's not just going to be like in those other times.
Yes.
There won't just be judges waiting around for you to show up and do the workout.
Correct.
So you have to find your own judge.
Good.
And we do like people to not do it on their own and judge themselves or put in a
You
score.
can't do that. No. So you have to do them in these times. There has to be a coach or a coach present when you're doing it. So you can't grab someone, do the open workout and barbell, and then submit it. There's got to be a coach present in the room during one of the times. If none of those times work, send myself, Brandon at CrossFitGrandview.com, or Drake at CrossFitGrandview.com an email, and then we'll try and help you find a time. So we'll get everyone through. And then Monday, same times, 7:30 to 8:30 a.m., and then we do have a level 2 class, so 1:30 to 3 p.m. That's kind of your last chance on Monday to get that in. You don't show up here at like 5 o'clock, 5:30 at night, and ask for a clock and equipment in the room to do it, because we're running 4 classes at the same time. That's not a good time to do it.
And workouts drop by 8 p.m. on Thursdays. That's still the same deal.
I think a little earlier now. They've been putting them out
great.
earlier. Yeah.
And then you have to have your score submitted by, is it 8 p.m. on Monday usually?
Yeah, 5 Western or West Coast time. Yeah, so 8.
So 8 here. Yeah.
So you have
to submit your own
You
score.
submit your own score through it, then I validate it. You turning in your score sheet doesn't do it. So some people have made that mistake. They'll like turn their score sheet in and they're like, I didn't see my score. Like, I don't put them through. We just have that as evidence that you did the workout. And then I use the score sheets to check scores too. Every once in a while, what will happen is someone will have, let's just say it's like a general like class athlete. They'll have a score that is like, they'll have rounds that are off, and they'll put like a red flag, and then I'll grab the sheet, and then there might be a conflicting thing. So it happens on every workout. So I do check against them, and it helps. And every once in a while, I'll have to like text someone and be like, "Hey, what happened here?" And then they're like, "Oh, I messed that round up or something." So
I accidentally put 3 more rounds. I don't know what happened.
That's
there.
happened.
I
That's happened. I'm like, I'm not validating
I just wanted to
this.
win one workout, okay? just let me have this one.
Send it through.
I'm like, I think you beat Matt Frazier on this workout.
What do I have to give you to get it through?
I had a great day. What can
How
I
much
say?
money is this going to cost me?
You beat. Huh? You're second.
Everybody's going to praise.
You're third worldwide, and you're a 3-day-a-week CrossFitter for 3 months. So we gotta check into this.
Hey, it's how we can start making money on this side. You guys want another step, though?
Yes. Exactly.
But we are offering some incentives to try to get more people to sign up for the Open this year.
So we're gonna have $5 off the Open T-shirts
If you sign up for the Open.
Yeah, if you sign up for the Open. So there'll be less expensive T-shirts. Also, if you sign up for the Open, and we have the most in the region, which we have, I'm pretty sure we have the biggest gym from a membership standpoint in the region. So if we just get the amount of people who are going to participate in the Open workouts to register for it, we'll win. And then I think we win a $2,500 Rogue gift card. And if we do, I'll go through with the coaches. We'll look at some equipment, some different equipment pieces. Probably choose between 4 different things. Probably something fun, and then I'll let everyone vote on it, and we'll buy whatever they want. So,
what's your goal for signups?
It's tough. So I want to definitely just beat last year, which was, I think we had like 105. But we've had over 150 before with a lot less members. a big stretch goal would be 200 people. And I think that would get us, like, that would probably win us that prize. I'd be happy if we got to 150. We definitely had 300 people do the open workouts last year here.
Yeah, just
so if we could have
guys.
2/3 of them sign up.
Don't do it off on the side because you're too embarrassed to put your score in. Just man up, woman up, sign up.
It's and I understand the blowback of the $20.
If we win this, we're gonna have a pizza party. Okay?
Yeah,
I promise you. If we win, this,
we are having a party.
An ice cream social.
We're pizza party and an ice cream social. Come on.
Exactly.
Do it
But
for
we're
that.
only getting like 6 pizzas for everyone, and we're gonna eat first. Brandon's still pissed about this pizza party he had. What, you were in first grade, and the teachers ate pizza.
Story real quick. So we had a fish bowl. It was like a clear fish bowl. And every day, like, no one got in trouble or we were good. I can't remember what it was. We get a Buckeye in there. So we get a Buckeye. And then if we filled the thing up to the top, we could have a pizza party. So, some days we wouldn't get it. I mean, it's one Buckeye a day. So this thing goes all year. And we can start to see it getting close. So she hyped this pizza party up. Like, it was her way of, like, getting us to behave all year. So we finally get it. We're super stoked. I remember my mom was like, hey, you didn't eat breakfast. I'm like, I'm saving up for the pizza party. I didn't eat breakfast. So she gets, like, 2 large pizzas for, like, a class of 30 kids. And it's, it's a place called Katie's, but it's, like, cut like Donato's, like that tavern cut. Yep. So I'm in the back of the line. So we all could get 1 piece. You go through, you get 1 piece, eat it, and then once you're done, you go back through. And so I got like 2 pieces like that big, and then like a thimble of like some Sprite. And it was gone. And my teacher and she had like an assistant. They split a pizza and got a sub. And I was talk shit to her all day. I was so mad. I was like, can I go to the regular lunch now? Because I'm starving.
Was your friend Chris Mon in this class too?
Yeah.
Now these two, as kids, as I see them as like 30-year-old men, and how you guys get pissed and yell. I can't imagine you as like 8-year-olds.
I think we got in trouble that day.
You guys had to be so freaking
I think we
annoying.
got sent out in the hall, or we got some sort of reprimand.
But when they're
she's
mad,
like, you're about to go to the principal's office, you little shit.
I
was like, I don't. Yeah, I'm
maybe
like,
he'll give me pizza.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know, I'm starving.
That is a little disappointing. Yeah.
It was bad.
But we are having an end of the open party.
Yeah,
from 5 to 8. Yeah, at Woodlands, where you can eat. You can get whatever you want to eat.
Eat and drink your faces off
for 3 hours.
3 straight hours.
A thimble of Coke and the soda, not the other, and then maybe a square of pizza will get you.
Yeah. But okay, some reasons to do the Open too. So I've done the Open most of the years since it started. Every time I do it, I come out. I've had years where I'm like really like I do well, or I score well, and in some way that make me feel really well. But every year I've done it, it definitely adds another gear to my fitness because I pushed really hard 3 weeks in a row, like probably harder than I had the whole previous year. I just try really hard. Like if you sign up for a race. So when you come out of that, you've got an extra gear you're working with because you've pushed some intensity that you haven't done. It's going to show you a movement pattern, a movement, or a combination of movements that might be something that like you're like, ooh, I need to get a little bit better at that. It'll show you like a weak pattern. Which will help you just as an athlete in general. And then it usually gives you a goal for the next year. So you come off of the Open. I actually tell people, I'm like, the hardest I'll ever see people train is like the 2 or 3 weeks after the Open, trying to fix all the mistakes that they made in it. So it gives you things to work on for the next year. and
I also think it's a good time, like this time of year, whether it's dry January or people are taking off like a month off alcohol. So around this time, it's a good time to have something else to focus on and work on. So like all this is for a purpose. Like as you're feeling better, dialing everything in, kind of capitalize on that. Also, we were going to offer a free month. You want to talk about that? Like the scholarship free month for signing up for the Open?
I don't know what that is. We talked. Yeah, you started to mention something about that, but we didn't. Yeah.
You want me to explain it?
No, I don't. Because we never got anywhere. This was like a 10-minute conversation that we didn't get. Well, let's iron that out a different time.
TBA on that.
Yeah.
You might
stay tuned.
Cut this part out.
We will cut this part out of the podcast.
I thought we were live.
We're streaming. Live. I have my phone streaming.
Oh shit!
This is this whole podcast is just gonna be chopped up all over the place.
Wait, where did the pizza party come from? What's going on?
Hey, what is this? What's going on? So the Open 2, just from like a training standpoint, we're going to be coming out with a video I shot with Alex. It's just going to talk about training transitions, but it is like a nice logical conclusion to what we're doing over the next couple of weeks. So if we train, next week is almost what I would call in training like a peak week. So it's a couple of weeks before the Open starts. It's going to be a pretty hard training week. So this podcast will drop Monday. If you can hit that week hard, recover from that week, we'll actually start to slightly taper a little bit leading into the Open, with next week being one of the hardest weeks. We've just got some really high intensity workouts. I think out of the 7 days we've got maybe 3 or 4 that are just.
I felt like that was this week.
It is. No.
What was this week called?
I feel like I peaked 15 years ago.
Yeah.
No, it is. So this week and then next week, we're trying to push the conditioning and really and some of the higher end movements. Next week will be more or less the end of our percentage work on the Olympic weightlifting. So we'll be cleaning and snatching on the minute 90% next week on Tuesday. So 90% of where we kind of started. But, to be able to hit reps on the minute and be successful with that, that's going to kind of peak out that Olympic weightlifting. We will still do some Olympic weightlifting, but we're going to do stuff with more moderate percentages. And I'm going to try and keep you guys healthy for the 2 weeks before it because I don't want to bang you guys up. I try and get the really hard stuff a couple weeks before you compete and then be a little more conservative with the training right before we get into it. Those 3 weeks, we're going to do harder workouts from more of a weightlifting or technical standpoint earlier in the week, Monday and Tuesday. And then it'll kind of be a gradual taper into that Saturday where we're going to hit it hard for that Open workout. And that's what the training will look like for 3 weeks. CrossFit has affiliate programming. It's called CAP. I'm going to take a look at it. It's a little different than how I usually plan, but they are putting the Open, they're planning it into CAP. So they have the playbook. They know what the Open workout's going to be. So I'll be peeking at that, and we may do some of those CAP workouts around the Open ones just because I don't think they're going to use the same movements, the day before or after. So I might use some of the CAP workouts too. And then after that, the Open, we'll do what's called a spring reload, where we will do a little more strength stuff after the Open, slow things down. Intensity will be a little more moderate, I would just say overall, for about a month, and then we will build into our Murph prep. So that's kind of what the spring will look like for training.
And we have Summer Shred that starts April 19th, I believe.
Yeah.
So you'll have about a little over a month off, maybe 5 weeks off after the Open if you do the Open.
The Open leading into Summer Shred if you do both of those, each year that, you know, I get both of those in, like I'm in the best shape like of the year, like coming out of summer shred, like right at that point, like I feel awesome. You get those outdoor runs in, coming off the open, you're pushing yourself in groups of people consistently. So if you guys have Saturday mornings open, that summer shred, if you haven't done that before, that is a good time. We go do running workouts at parks and different places around the city, all the coolest spots to run. Big mixed level of people. So anywhere from people who don't run at all, who do some walking during the runs, to some really fast people too. And everything in between. So we'll be announcing the summer shred stuff probably in the next week or two, just making events and stuff and signups, but that'll be coming up pretty quick after the open. So you guys have anything to add today?
No.
All right. Okay, guys, I'm counting on you. Let's sign up for the open. If you guys know people, try and get a buddy to do it with you. If you have a buddy too and you guys can judge each other, that helps. Just like, hey, will you do the open with me? That always helps. Like me and Kate just did that. Like, hey, let's do the open. You know,
I'm trying to bribe Amber into like going out for breakfast afterwards if she does it.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes. Bribe her, yeah.
I'm like, let's go every weekend.
Take me too.
All right, guys. Catch you next week.
See ya.